Hey everyone! Today we're tackling a topic that hits close to home for many families. Rheumatoid arthritis, or RA, especially in our elderly loved ones. It's more than just achy joints. We're talking about a chronic autoimmune disease where your own body attacks the joints, leading to pain, stiffness, and even disability. But knowledge is power, right? So stick around as we break down the causes, symptoms, and most importantly, what you can do to manage and even prevent RA from taking control. Let's get to it. So, what exactly is rheumatoid arthritis? Picture this. Your immune system, usually your body's defense team, suddenly turns against you. In RA, it mistakes the lining of your joints as the enemy and launches a full-on attack. This causes inflammation, pain, stiffness, and over time, can lead to permanent joint damage. Now, RA usually starts subtly, often targeting those smaller joints in your hands and feet. But left untreated, it can progress to larger joints like your knees, hips, even your spine. And that's when things can get really debilitating. But hey, don't hit that panic button just yet. We're going to equip you with the knowledge to fight back. Now, we don't have all the answers when it comes to what causes RA, but we're getting closer. Think of it like a detective case with multiple suspects. First up, genetics. If RA runs in your family, you might be predisposed. We're talking about genes like HLA-DR4, which can increase your risk. Then we've got environmental factors. Ever notice how smoking seems to make everything worse? Well, it's a major trigger for RA. Add to that infections, even things like stress and hormonal changes, and you've got a recipe for potential trouble. The good news? While we can't control our genes, we can definitely make lifestyle changes to minimize those environmental risks. Okay, let's talk symptoms. Early detection is key with RA, so pay close attention. That morning stiffness you feel? If it lasts for more than an hour, that's a red flag. And it's not just stiffness, it's pain and swelling too, especially in those smaller joints. We're talking both sides of your body here, so if one hand hurts, the other probably does too. Now, RA can be sneaky. You might feel extremely tired, lose weight without trying, even have a fever. And if left untreated, it can lead to joint deformities, like those characteristic swan neck or boutonniere fingers. Not trying to scare you, but early intervention is crucial. Chapter 4. Are you at risk? Risk factors for RA. Now let's talk risk factors. Who's more likely to develop RA? Unfortunately, ladies, this one's for you. Women are 2 to 3 times more likely to get RA than men. Age is another factor, with most diagnoses happening after age 50. And remember those environmental triggers we talked about? Smoking is a big one, as is obesity. But here's the thing. Even if you have all the risk factors, it doesn't mean you'll definitely get RA. And even if you do, early diagnosis and treatment can make a world of difference. Chapter 5. Getting the diagnostic procedures for RA. So, you're experiencing some joint pain and you're worried it might be RA. What's next? Well, first things first, see your doctor. They'll start with a physical exam, checking for joint tenderness, swelling, and range of motion. But to confirm the diagnosis, they'll need to do some blood work. They'll be looking for inflammatory markers like ESR and CRP, as well as something called rheumatoid factor. And depending on the severity, they might order imaging tests like X-rays or MRIs to get a better look at your joints and check for any damage. Remember, knowledge is power, and getting the right diagnosis is the first step to getting the right treatment. The physiotherapy factor assessment for RA. Now, let's talk about a crucial part of managing RA physiotherapy. A skilled physiotherapist can make a world of difference in your quality of life. But first, they'll need to do a thorough assessment. They'll check your joints for swelling, stiffness, and any deformities. They'll assess your range of motion, how strong your muscles are, and how well you're able to move around. They'll also ask about your pain levels and might even analyze your walking pattern. This assessment helps them create a personalized plan just for you. Taking control physiotherapy management of RA. Okay, so you've had your physiotherapy assessment. Now what? Well, this is where the real work begins. But don't worry, your physiotherapist will be with you every step of the way. First and foremost, they'll focus on pain relief. This might involve heat therapy to relax those stiff joints, cold packs to reduce swelling, or even something called TENS, which uses electrical impulses to block pain signals. But it's not just about masking the pain, it's about addressing the root cause. Chapter 7. Taking Control. Physiotherapy Management of RA. Continued. That's where exercise comes in. Now, before you picture yourself running a marathon, we're talking about gentle, joint-friendly exercises. Think range of motion exercises to keep those joints moving smoothly. Strengthening exercises to build up the muscles supporting those joints. And even low-impact aerobic exercises like swimming or cycling to improve your overall fitness. And if you're dealing with specific areas of tightness or stiffness, your physiotherapist might use manual therapy techniques like soft tissue release or joint mobilizations to loosen things up. Chapter 7. Taking Control. Physiotherapy Management of RA. Continued. And hey, sometimes you need a little extra support, right? That's where assistive devices come in. We're talking splints or braces to protect your joints, special tools to make everyday tasks easier, or even walking aids if needed. But perhaps the most important tool your physiotherapist will give you is knowledge. They'll teach you about joint protection techniques, how to conserve your energy, and how to adapt your activities to minimize strain on your joints. Remember, managing RA is a team effort, and your physiotherapist is your biggest cheerleader. Chapter 8. Fighting Back Prevention Strategies for RA. Now, while we can't always prevent rheumatoid arthritis, there are things we can do to lower our risk or slow its progression. First and foremost, maintain a healthy weight. Those extra pounds put extra stress on your joints, making them more vulnerable. And speaking of stress, did you know that staying active can actually help reduce RA symptoms? We're not talking about high-impact workouts here, but gentle exercises like walking, swimming, or Tai Chi can work wonders. And remember those environmental triggers we talked about? Time to kick those bad habits to the curb. Quit smoking, limit your alcohol intake, and give your body the best chance to fight back. Chapter 9. Do's and Don'ts Living Well with RA. Alright, let's talk lifestyle changes. Living with RA means making some adjustments, but it doesn't mean your life has to stop. First, the do's: do stay active. Remember those gentle exercises we talked about? Make them a part of your routine. Use ergonomic tools and mobility aids to make everyday tasks easier on your joints. And most importantly, be consistent with your medications and physiotherapy. Now, the don'ts. Don't overdo it. Heavy lifting and high-impact activities are a no-go. Don't ignore persistent pain or stiffness. That's your body trying to tell you something. And for goodness sake, ditch those cigarettes. You've got this. Chapter 10. The domino effect complications of untreated RA. Now let's talk about why it's so important to take RA seriously. Left untreated, it can lead to a whole cascade of complications. We're talking about permanent joint damage and deformities, which can severely limit your mobility and independence. And because RA can make it painful to move, it can lead to inactivity, which increases your risk of osteoporosis, heart disease, and even depression. But here's the good news. With early diagnosis, proper treatment, and a proactive approach to managing your health, you can significantly reduce the risk of these complications and live a full and active life. Chapter 11. Food as Medicine, Diet, and RA. We've talked about medication and physiotherapy, but did you know that your diet can also play a role in managing RA? Think of it this way. Certain foods can actually fight inflammation from the inside out. We're talking about omega-3 fatty acids, found in fatty fish like salmon and tuna, as well as walnuts and flax seeds. Load up on colorful fruits and vegetables, packed with antioxidants that protect your joints. Choose whole grains over processed foods, and ditch those sugary drinks. And don't forget about bone health. Make sure you're getting enough calcium and vitamin D, whether through your diet or supplements. Remember, food can be your medicine. Outro: taking charge of your health. That was a lot of information, but here's the takeaway. Rheumatoid arthritis is a serious condition, but it doesn't have to control your life. With early diagnosis, a personalized treatment plan that includes physiotherapy and medication, and a healthy lifestyle, you can manage your symptoms, maintain your mobility, and live a full and active life. Remember, knowledge is power, so if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe for more health tips. Until next time, stay healthy.